Over the past 24 hours, the internet has quite possibly witnessed the worst possible ending to a streamer's career. And no, I am not joking. From Twitter to Twitch to TikTok, the internet is in an absolute uproar, and it all started from what's written right here. Twitch streamer Emiru has accused fellow streamer Mizkif of assault, abuse, stalking, harassment, and threats of blackmail.
Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing.
And my goodness, this is insane. And real quick, before we listen to this full thing, I want to make sure that you guys have some background info. For anyone who isn't caught up, this whole situation involves emiru and Mizkif, two of Twitch's biggest and most well-known creators. I think emiru averages like 20,000 viewers a stream, and then Mizkif averages like 17,000 viewers. So yes, they're both very well known. And even if you aren't an avid user of Twitch, you still may have heard of the name emiru recently, because just last week she was involved in another insane situation where she was assaulted by a fan during a meet and greet at TwitchCon.
And what had happened is this person came up to her and they were in another meet and greet line, that's my understanding, and they skipped over the line. The security let them go through. This person then tries to go and grab her, right? He tries to grab her and he tries to kiss her. That's what he tried to do. He does try to kiss her. This is blatantly sexual assault. It's not even a question. I don't know how anybody could say otherwise.
So yeah, this whole situation was very crazy, and it pretty much went viral on every social media because Twitch just doesn't protect its creators. But that was a completely different situation that happened last week. The point is that emiru hasn't had the best month, because now this week she's now addressing her fellow streamer slash ex-boyfriend Mizkif.
The psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I have attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue, and just not make it a public thing.
I'm not gonna lie, me and XQC's face is the same, because the information that emiru shares from here only gets worse, because allegedly, Mizkif used to throw objects at her.
It was definitely slow over time that bad things started happening. At the start, it would be things like, for example, he would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but he always, you know, was like, oh, it's an accident. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an accident. Like, you know, of course I'm not gonna think that.
So I'm not really sure how someone can consistently throw their bottle or their phone at someone. The only way I could possibly think of is if he like tossed his phone on the couch and she was sitting on the couch. But even then, it wouldn't be hard enough to give her a black eye. And of course, after hearing emiru say this, the internet moves insanely quick, and they would pull up footage of Mizkif with his other ex-girlfriend and him throwing stuff at her while she was also on stream.
Two Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you. I'm not talking to him today.
Well, nobody asked you to, so.
I'm not talking to him.
Okay.
Look at her face. She's so uninterested.
She said no.
Maya unimpressed. That's what that was.
Two Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you over the past few days.
Oh my god.
Skip, that was
Throw
not
it back.
funny.
Throw it
Yeah,
back.
that better be. We're live.
What the fuck?
We're live, she says.
Yeah, this right here is an insanely bad look, because on one hand, you have your recent ex-girlfriend saying you used to abuse her by throwing objects at her, and then people pull up a clip of you actually throwing stuff at your other ex-girlfriend while she was live on stream. So it's kind of hard to just not believe emiru at this point. They all knew he was an abuser, but it would hurt their income if they said something. Genuinely, how did all these women watch this happen in front of their faces and not think this was something bigger? It's insane to me that Mizkif wasn't canceled longer ago. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of just watched her have that stuff thrown in her face and were just laughing about it.
Two Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you. I'm not talking to him today.
Well, nobody asked you to, so.
I'm not talking to him.
Okay.
Look at her face.
Yeah, her face looked kind of traumatized. Not sure why we're laughing. But anyway, the terrible treatment didn't stop at like Mizkif throwing bottles and phones at her face. It also manifested in him threatening to kill both of them while driving.
After that, like I said, was when things started to get really fucking bad. It was like something just snapped, and At the time, he also would more often do things like going, like if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like 150 miles an hour. And like one time he even said like, well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us. And this wasn't like even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did a lot of the time. Like one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food and he was on his phone and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh, yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
The reason I find this part so crazy is because it's not even like the guy is a bum or unknown streamer. The guy averages well over 10,000 live viewers a stream, and he's one of Twitch's biggest and most well-known streamers. So the fact that he's about to crash out over not getting a Mr. Beast collab, or better yet, that someone else got a Mr. Beast collab, is crazy to me. Bro doesn't want to see anybody but himself win after he's already won. And funny enough, once again, we can also see evidence of Mizkif other ex, Maya, talking about something similar way before emiru ever brought this to the internet.
Anyway, there's something about being trapped in a car with an angry aggro man that is like the absolute most helpless thing. Dude, I did a guy that would go like 100 miles an hour on the, like we would fight in the car, which was never my decision. Like it just always like happened. Like we just would like fight in the car and then he'd go like 100. And I would like literally like beg him to slow down. I'd be so scared and I'd cry, and then he would not slow down until I apologized.
Now, she doesn't outright name that she was talking about her ex Mizkif, but I mean, come on now. Some jokes write themselves. And we haven't even gotten to the super serious allegations that emiru had on Mizkif.
He asked to come over to my house and talk for closure. He came to my house and I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life. I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with, but I let him hold me while I was crying and he started kissing me in my face and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. He tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants, and when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, and instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying.
And yeah, that sounds crazy. But from the way she's describing it, I don't think that there was any malicious intent from Mizkif, because it sounds like at that point they were on and off dating. But I mean, you shouldn't just stick your hand down people's pants though. But luckily for us, Mizkif did make a response, so we can get his side of the story.
We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food, and then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong, or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then.
Yeah, even if I think Mizkif is a terrible person, it doesn't sound like the hand down the pants interaction was meant to be like evil. It sounds like a gray area because they were on and off dating, they were currently kissing when he tried that, and he may have just overstepped the boundary. However, the other parts of Mizkif's response is where the internet starts to meme him, because he actually blames emiru for him being violent because she threw plushies at him.
I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Is he equating throwing plushies at someone to punching holes in the wall? Yeah, she sneezed, so I blew up my house. She pinched my ear, so I threw a pocket dimension to hell at her. Yeah, that comparison Mizkif made was insane.
I was not perfect, and I reflect on those situations with poor taste to myself. I'm ashamed that
So she would throw plushies. I don't even believe that. I don't believe that. I think he just said that because there's no evidence of that. Like, you can show a hole in the wall, you can show a bruise from like a black eye or something like that, but you can't show that a plushie happened, right? I think she probably didn't even do that. I mean, I wouldn't even believe that. I think he just said that because that's something that there would be no evidence for.
And in fear of making this video way too long, this is Mizkif's 30-minute response summed up. Denies SA, denies stalking, denies physical abuse, says it was an extremely toxic relationship, talks a lot about emiru neglecting rabbits. I also think it's safe to say that most of the internet hates Mizkif now, so it'll be very interesting to see what his career does after this point. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm very interested to hear it, and I will see you guys in the next one.